morning, YouTube. Kashif here from KRGraphics, and I'm back with another video. And this one is going to be fun. Very fun. So much fun, you can't resist it. Okay, not really. In today's video, I'm going to be covering another process in my design that is usually very intimidating to a lot of artists, including myself one time when I started doing this, and that is the dreaded UVs. Oh dear, here come the big bad UVs. Something that we wish we all didn't have to do, but we gotta do it. You know, it's part of the process. Actually, UV maps are not that bad if you actually plan ahead carefully. So, this one, I'm going to show you how I approach UVs right here in ZBrush. Yes, that's right. ZBrush does do UVs. And it comes with a plugin called UVMaster, which is absolutely very powerful tool. I cannot see myself not using it. So, with that being said, we're now gonna go ahead and do a UVs in here. Now, before I started the video, I imported all the low-res meshes into ZBrush that I'm gonna be using. They're all marked with the prefix. Sorry, with the suffix low, which indicates that they're going to be used in a low-res environment. So that being said, let's start with something simple. We're going to go ahead and we're going to map the tongue. So I'll solo this, bring that tongue, and get that. Look at that tongue. Isn't a nice tongue. And it's also my the same model from Modo that I brought into ZBrush and back and forth. So to do this, we need to tell ZBrush we want to work on this. So I'm going to Z plugins real quick, and there are a lot of tutorials on UVMaster. Pixel Logic covers this very well. I think there's a tutorial by Joseph Drust. I'm not sure I'm sure you made one before. If I find it, I'll post it in the link below. So let's go to UVMaster, and we're going to work on the clone. Working on a clone ensures that we do not ruin our original model. So with this, we can now start drawing our seams on our model. So on a tongue is usually pretty, standard fare. No one cares about it. It's in the mouth. It's in the mouth. No one will ever see it. So let's begin by drawing some seams on this. So we're gonna go ahead and use turn symmetry on, and then we're gonna enable control painting. Okay, it's kind of weird. There's no Okay. So let's turn this off for a minute. I don't know why it's others low. I don't know why it's asking for something levels. All right, so okay, I know what's going on. I totally forgot that. Let's see. Hold on a minute there. It's kind of weird behavior. So let me see. I don't think I have anything on this recorded on this. Do I? I do actually. Yeah, this is the joy of working ZBrush and forgetting you did something past. I don't know what I did previously, but anyway, go back and see working. So you basically want no sub D levels on your mesh. Work on clone. Here we go. Yeah, it's kind of telling me not to do this feature, so I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm a big all. Here we go. Just to make my life easy. Okay, so UVMaster symmetry turned on, control painting. So what I'm going to do now is I want to attract. So when you do attract, you'll get a cursor that's in blue, and I'm going to turn off the dynamic brush for this because it won't get in the way. And turn on symmetry. I'm going to start painting. Paint on the seam. Wait, I want to paint right here. and then start drawing all the way down until we get to the end there. I'm going in there and just these there. I mean, one thing too, guys, is don't be afraid of UVs. They're not, they're not that bad. UVs are great, especially for character modeling. Now that done, go ahead and wrap. Then when it's done, we hit flatten. There are UVs. Pretty straightforward. Nothing difficult about that. Go ahead and hit flatten. And then, because we are working on a clone, we're going to go ahead and copy the UVs. And go back to our original model in our file. That suffix there. Don't know why it's doing this, but let me zoom back a little bit. All the way back. Before I did anything. Here we go. There we go. I basically want my UVs, my details to be back where they were. Some weird reason must have messed up my details up pretty bad. All right. So with that said, you go back to C plugin, hit paste UVs, and it all worked well. Effective. It all worked well. You go to ZBrush, go to UV map, hit morph UV, and your UVs are there. Okay. Now, that's pretty easy in this program. Right now, I'm tackling the simple stuff first, so you guys get a feel for it. The teeth UV is pretty straightforward. Nothing complicated about this. So I'll start all with the white. Back to my. There's some odd reason too when you bring your models in, you ZBrush, bring UVs in, messes up. For some reason it dims your detail big time. So just real quick and check the details, make sure they're not lost. Because one thing what's going to happen in ZBrush is you lose all your detail. All intact. Okay, good. Everything's still there. Right. It was saving the head for last. Head is the last thing I'm going to work on. So next, the teeth. In case of the teeth, it's a fact of hitting unwrap. None. Same thing for this one. Make sure some low res. Wrap. Done. Boom. All right. So now that's finished. We can now go back and let's here at the white where they were. The next thing we'll do. So first one UV map is the shirt, the low res shirt. So what I actually no. Let's do this first. The overcoat. The first thing I do. So UVMaster is a feature that allows. There are many ways to do your modeling on this. And one of my tricks I found with this is that I can actually go ahead and create polygroups on this, which is what we're going to do. So first thing we're going to do on this is we're going to go to the modeler tool, and I want to create polygroups on this. So to do this, go to polygroup and just go ahead and start picking edges. Actually, not even that. Actually, I'm going to start picking I'll do like this. I'm trying to figure out how I want my polygroups to look. And also too, I have the high-res model background as a reference, so that I know what it's for. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna try this using the mask lasso and mask masking parts of the model that will be covered, like that. And then I go ahead and go to polygroups and group masked. Boom, group mask. That was pretty easy. So basically, this part here is now mapped. And also too, in an earlier video, the faces are open. So this is a way for me to do my mapping in game. So okay, so I'm gonna hide that. Okay, same thing up front. I'll go ahead and ask for that. And this is a nice little way to create a very easy way to create polygroups in ZBrush if you use masks. I could also hidden the model too. That also works. But of course, I just want to show you that there are many ways to approach the same process in working in models. Oops. I also want to go in there and just go in and start carefully masking out parts I don't need hidden. Closer. And we're gonna go pretty close here. We're gonna go in right here. Very carefully draw the mask right here. Very, very carefully. And then in ZBrush, you go ahead and hit button, go clear. UVMask, clear mask. Now you have two polygroups there. Okay. Hide that. Hide this as well. I missed a piece. That's what I get for being in a hurry. That piece. Back. It's a game of cat and mouse with this sometimes. Visible. Okay, here we go. What I get. This is what I get for being in a hurry. Did it again. Here. Oh. Here we go. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. This is what happens when you do things in a hurry. Don't pay attention. Alright. So, that being done, I'll leave this alone. It's already done already. And now the top half. We're going to go ahead now and bring back our high-res model for reference. And now I'm going to draw a mask around this back half right here. Make sure too that when you do your mask, it covers the points on the mesh. And make the same thing here. Your mask. And now we must have missed a piece there. And including about ZBrush is when you do masks, it's a very additive process too, which is great. Cover the entire edge and clear mask. There we go. And that being done, that should cover most of the model right there. It also helps too if you check your reference as well to make sure that everything's where you want it. So right here, actually a vertex. There's like this point there. I want to move that point because Symmetry is enabled. Right there on the scene. I basically try to make sure everything's on the scene and working out very well. And also too, the reason I'm doing it this way is so that when I do bake my textures down, I won't have any issues with baking my textures. And in fact, I'll probably do the sleeves too, because I'm gonna want some detail, like some fabric details on this as well. So let's do that actually. Let's see when I go to my transform, turn on ghosting. I'm ghost and see where my edges are. So I'm pretty much right on there. I'm pretty much on the edge there. Always fix this up and see It's just on the edge. So when it's baked, it'll look, when it's baked down, it'll look like it's part of the model. I think that's good for now. I'll probably go back later and fix it if I need to. I need to high res. See what all the see what the seams are on this. I think I did it previously. This is the fun part for me when I go in and check where my polygons are. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, I can always come back and fix it later if I need to. You know, let's just come with the topology brush and start moving things around. Oh, I do have one more piece I need to get rid of. This piece here. This is kind of a piece I need to fix because it'll, when I bake it, when I do my baking, it'll actually mess up the UV. So I'm in real quick. That Cure mesh. I'm gonna create a poly group. Let's come in and just start buttons. This is a nice little way to create your poly groups as well for UVs. It's not particularly fast, but these faces will not be seen. But when I did this so that when you play the game, you don't see the back of the character like that. And with Painter later on in this process, all the UVs will be, all the textures will be seamless anyway. So you won't see this part, and it's probably going to be scaled down to UVs. We'll see what happens later on down the line. I do this. So it's very important to do UVs carefully. It's very important to plan everything. Sometimes UVs are, I will admit, they're not very friendly. All right. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead, and now I'm going to go ahead and work on clone. Working on clone is very important. And now this one, I'm going to go ahead now and hit polygroups, and go ahead and hit unwrap. And it will create a bunch of islands for us, which is what we want. And we'll flatten and see how it looks to us. And this is pretty much how it's going to look when you bring a model into Modo later. I'm probably going to split these back pieces here, because I feel like this looks nice. This looks really good. This is the bottom. This is the bottom of the jacket right here, by the way. The green. This came out really nicely. So I'll definitely keep it like this. This one, on the other hand, not as nicely. There's a little pinch there. And if I want to have like very flat textures for UVs, it's important to make sure that I ensure that it was very flattened. So I'm going to unflatten now. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and check seams, and it'll show me where the seams are on my model. I think sometimes ZBrush gets very smart. It helps you decide where your seams will be, and that's good for us. That's really good what we're doing. So for right now, what I want to do next is I actually want to paint a seam for this piece over here on the side. So I'm going to hide. Go ahead and I think it did it for us. So I don't think it broke the mesh. I don't think it broke it about that edge. That's right here. Like right here, didn't break it. So this code. Let's bring it into Modo. Let's bring it into Modo now and actually do it manually. So the overcode, and it's going to rename your file, which is going to happen. So let's go back and rename it. So let's go in here real quick. Send this into Modo, and we actually want to break part of the jacket manually. I mean, it won't be seen. Won't be seen anyway. It'll be fine. And basically, for us, what I want to do as well is go to new overcode, and let's go to That's pretty odd. It didn't. Oh, almost forgot. Almost forgot something. Silly me. Do that. Flatten. Making sure we. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We need to copy UVs. Back to the actual model. Paste them on there. Here we go. Now hit go Z. This happens when you actually, work pretty fast and you forget what you did previously. So it's important to make sure that when you work on your model, that you work carefully. There we go. And don't worry, we're going to rename all this later, and we're going to rename this as well. Call this I. So there we go. We'll go ahead now and click on this. Pants are done already, but I'm going to show you another way than previously. So now we this here. We need to break the edges on this. This looks pretty good. This not so good. Because I want to make sure that the pieces are very flat. So to do this, go ahead and go to select UV borders. Notice how that it didn't break every edge that we needed. And I don't want to break all the edges, just some of them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick the polygons on this, hide them, so that they're easier to pick. And then we'll go here. Make sure I don't select any other polygons. Other ones we want. Here. And usually I bounce back to Modo and ZBrush for my mapping, and sometimes I come to Modo to fix issues that ZBrush, the UVMaster misses sometimes. I want this in here. I'm gonna hide this now. Go to select UV borders. Bingo. And now get the damn thing on there. There we go. I actually want to split it right beside there. I can do it here easily. I can easily go here and just start going up the edges and just picking what I want. And then like this, and just keep going until you see the UVs being selected. This is so that when I want to add like fabric detail on this, it'll make it feel seamless. Sorry for the phone call there. I mean, it's noon time in Boston, and basically, it's a nice day in Boston. It's kind of sunny today, so we're kind of going in and enjoy. Okay. So I'm just going up the side of the scene here until I hit the part that I want. And because of the fact that they're not hard as UVs, they'll actually bake cleanly when I bring it to this painter here. And then I'm gonna unhide the polygons I did earlier. Show the edges there. We'll basically deselect these edges right there. Okay. And basically now this done, you now go ahead and hit unwrap. Hopefully my UVs don't mess up on me. Exact. So I got this one. Now this one's messed up again. Yeah. Okay, so this is an easy fix for us. So we'll go ahead and select UV borders, and I'll just go in real quick and just change the but I'll put the theme on this one again. This is the part that most artists are afraid of because it's very tedious. And I agree with you. It's like, I mean, I would hate it. I would hate it too if I have to keep doing it. Let me check my origin. It's in the middle. I want to make sure it's in the middle. And it's going in. It's going to start picking all the edges up to this. This is where it gets fun because I want to make sure that my edges, when they're chosen, they actually look really good. Now, I could have done the same thing with the UVMaster. Sometimes it decides for you where the scenes will go. Actually, you can go all the way back to this. Order again. For some odd reason, it didn't like my selection. So I need to make sure I go back to it, and this is, yeah, I'm trying to check the edges here. So let's see how it's gonna work. Because UVs are, I'll admit, they're a pain in the butt, but we gotta do them. Okay, so now I'm gonna go with this. So basically, I'm gonna pick these edges right here. In the past, I've used programs like Unfold 3D, which is great. A great program for wrapping your models with. But sometimes, software is very expensive, and you have Modo and UVMaster and ZBrush, which are very powerful tools in their own right. So I'm kind of going in and picking all the edges that I want for this. It's kind of weird. I'm trying to preserve my UVs who I want them to be, and sometimes not easy to do. It's not simple. To go in there and pick the UVs you like. I'm going in right now and just picking all the UVs. I apologize, this is tedious to you guys, but this is a very important point I wanted to show you all for this particular video. That UV mapping is a very slow, painful process, and not everyone likes it. Some of us are sadistic, and we love we love the extra challenge. Yeah, pull that off. And the same thing on the panel. We want to pick the panel. We'll make sure that we pick our edges. We do the same thing on the other side. We're not worried at this point about the where the UV of the polygon count right now on this, because in the end, when you make the normal maps, it'll look really good, and that's the part we want. That's a pretty important part of creating your UVs. Notice how I'm jumping back and forth between. And I only wanted to do UVMaster so that I can have a reference point for the model to see where these would be. So kind of going in and just picking the edge on and all that other stuff. And it's important. It's important, like I said before, in modeling. Doing UVs take time. Doing UVs takes time and patience. You want to make sure you do UVs, you're happy with them. You're not just rushing to get it done. And at that, go to unwrap tool again. And now we gotta wrap our UVs, and boom, look at beautiful, isn't it? And usually what I do, usually for me, I usually will go back in the model, back to UVMaster, into ZBrush, go Z, and just quickly do a quick UVMaster unwrap, so that it'll actually, so I can see, so I can go in there real quick and see, get a very smooth UV out of this. Sometimes too, I like being able to stay in ZBrush when I'm working. It helps a lot for us. And go. I'm gonna go ahead now and hit flatten. And flatten works as well in here, so I'm gonna check it. And here we go. Those are UVs. Hit unflatten, and we're gonna do one quick unwrap. So basically, make sure you hit on, if you have UVs already, just hit check use existing UV seams and hit unwrap. Done. There it is. And then go to send back the Modo. And if you're lucky, if you're happy with it, you know, sometimes in certain UV seams, you want also the best part of UV mapping too is playing your seams. Like right here. Okay, it didn't. Some odd reason that oh, okay, I know what happened. Okay, I know what happened too. When you do some reason you use Go Z. Yeah, okay, that's some trouble. So let's back half the jacket. I don't want seams on. I don't want to seam. I don't want to seam on there either. So let me go here and select. I'm actually gonna break these here. I actually want the inner layer, this inner layer here, this inner layer right here, the jacket to be seamless. Real quick. Yeah, this is seamless, so I want this seamless too. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and just break UVs right where they are. So to do that, polygons there. Usually, doing UVs is a very iterative process. It's not cut and dry. It's not easy. It's not easy as one might think. And I can easily take the edge right here. Take the edge. Go ahead and use polygons. This is where it gets tricky because I could have easily used polygroups as well for this. And you know, basically, but I realized too that the inner jacket will be textured, and I don't want. I'm gonna have a texture map on the inner part of the jacket, and I don't want seams on that. So I'm going to just very quickly. These are not just going to be mirrored pieces. For a character like this that you're going to see all the time on screen, you actually want to have a unique texture for a jacket. I usually don't do mirror textures anymore because you know, depending on the element, I want my character to have, you know, especially for him, his body is very simple. His model is very simple, so I can just go in right now and just go crazy with the texture detail on this character. On other models like Dark Mercenary, which you saw in episode 2 of my series, he required mirrored UVs on some parts of his body, like his boots and his gloves, because there's so much from that character. You know, it would have taken too much time to really go in there and try to create unique textures on everything on this character. You know, it would have been possible. So now let's tear this off. Rip, that, boom. And the same thing inside. I wish there's a feature in Modo where I could pick an edge and break it. I'm sure there is somewhere a feature like that coming up. I think Modo 11's out now, so I'll probably make a feature for that. And pick an edge UV, rip. That's all I want to do. Anyway, if I had Unfold 3D available now to me, I can do the same thing. But this is sufficient for what I want to do. So, I'll go in. Just going real quick and done on, you know, wrapping pieces. You know, it's kind of sad that some artists don't like UV mapping, and it's okay, but you know, it has to be done. You gotta UV map. You gotta do UV maps in your models. Otherwise, it won't be as fun. And I'm sadistic. I enjoy the process of UV mapping so much. You know, I mean, I'm the kind of person who see if like about an hour or two just doing UVs on complex objects like gloves. You know, if you're gonna gloves, we're going to be tackling that pretty soon in this section. Mapping gloves is something. It's like hands. You know, it's usually hands are usually the hardest to UV map because the parts that are so close together in UVs. It's not even funny how hard that is, how hard that is, and unfun it is to do UVs for hands. I'm going in here real quick and pick all the UV, pick all the polygons for that. Okay. Polygons and rip. Yeah. So next up is we'll send the model. We'll send this model to GoZ again. And usually the good thing about GoZ is that it'll warn you if there's a mesh with that name already. And it's going to replace the model here in our scene in a minute. Second to replace it, because what happened was we did the previous step and it must have took the name of the scene color, which is kind of odd. So we're gonna wait a minute, let it process. You probably noticed me too that there's no editing in my videos. I try to keep that to a minimal so that you can see, all my mistakes, what I deal with when I do my textures, the back and forth. It's a lot to do when you're doing your model. We do a lot of texture mapping inside of ZBrush. One of the advantages of UVMaster too is that UVMaster respects you. It respects your UVs. So hit delete on that. Don't need it anymore. This one now, and I'm gonna go ahead and do polygroups so you can see where everything is. Oh, I almost forgot to sew it. That's another thing I need to do. So back there real quick. Oh yeah, you want to make sure you sew your models, sew your seams together. We'll go ahead and just put our vertices. Really, put your vertexes and see. Okay. Put the edges. There we go. And we need to sew that seam where it was. So we'll go ahead and go to the sew tool. Find it. Yeah, they changed the interface a lot in this program. So here we go. So go ahead and hit averaged, move and sew, average, boom, done. And so now we have an inner jacket, an inner part of the coat, and an outer part. And this is what we want. This is what we want to do. If you want a unique texture for inside the coat and outside the coat. So this is good. That's what we want. So now, once again, set the GoZ, select it, GoZ, and basically we're gonna go ahead and just, it's a process. This is a process we normally do for UV mapping characters. So, and again, I thank you for your patience with this. It does a lot of work when you're doing UVs for your characters. It's just this character is easy. Easy character, very few pieces. He'll be allowed to have unique UVs. So with this in mind, we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we hit unwrap. Check seams. Yeah, see? And basically, this is what happened when you pick your choose options in the this is why we work on clone to avoid problems like that. So hit unwrap. And it should be done momentarily, and unwrap done. And it's using the existing UV map. So now we'll send this back to Modo. You probably noticed right now there's a lot of back and forth between Modo and this program. So what we're going to do now is, here we go, and we bring it back into Modo. Rename it to XP_UV, and now we have all the UV maps we want them to be. And of course, a little later on, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick relax on some of these pieces, because the idea here is to try to eliminate as much distortion as possible. Go ahead right now and just do that real quick and see because I don't think UVMaster has a function for relaxing yet. So we'll go ahead and just relax function and oh. So we'll do a quick relax on this so that it'll actually. So basically, so when it relaxes, it'll actually, remove any distortion or UVs. And that's important too. You want to make sure your UVs are free distortion. That's the worst thing that can happen in UVs is you paint a texture and you get distortion. Although Substance Painter, you will mitigate this by using the model's agent space. I do not want to. I try to minimize distortion as much as possible. Usually, the hard one to get rid of is heads. The heads are a very difficult part to. The heads are very hard to get rid of distortion. Period. So we'll wait a second here, and let it relax because usually it's a very heavy process relaxing when you're on the meshes. And I pick all the polygons. So now we need to get relax going on this. Just give it a minute to do its thing, because again, later on we're going to be doing the we're going to be working on the shirt next, and the shirt has some pretty unique properties. Shirt. So let's go ahead and for the shirt, we also for the shirt we also do mark our seams where they would be, because on some because this shirt's pretty easy to unwrap. I had no problem wrapping this previously, and still thinking. So while I was thinking, let's go work on the shirt next. Hide that. Get the shirt up. Carefully hide all that. Alright, so shirt well. This is the next part of our journey. This one is pretty straightforward. So all I'm doing now is basically I'm going to hide shirt collar. That's the first thing I'm going to hide because I am using that for. I found out that working with polygroups makes your UV mapping very easy. A much quicker process than. Kind of going in and just hiding all the UVs we don't want to see. And because sure it'll leave a visible seam, but it's okay. That's fine with us. We want that visible. We want that seam to be visible, be invisible. Because when you make it in Painter, you're not gonna see it. Kind of going and hiding all this. Yes, UV mapping is a very tedious process, but I'm glad to show you this now. The stresses I go through the UV map. Okay. Hide it. There, over here. And all groups visible. Next step is, like I said, we have things here, so we want to hide them. Go to the modeler. In this case, for the shirt, because it's a very simple model, start clicking polygons. Because it's symmetrical too, it makes it very easy to do, very easy process to go in there and click in polygons. That's all. Okay. Same thing with shirt inside. It's going to be the shirt interior. It's going to be a throwaway UV, so we're not going to worry too much about this. We do, however, want the outside of the shirt to have its own unique UVs. So we'll go ahead now and just paint a mask on this so that we get our unique UVs. Make sure I make sure when I paint this, I get all the vertices, You know, not only that too, I also want to make sure that I keep my seams minimal, that minimal seams on my shirt. You know, some shirts have insides as well. And this particular model has a shirt in its sleeve. Actually, let's hide some of this stuff so that we don't accidentally paint on it. This. And this is basically throwaway UVs I'm talking about. So I'm trying to see here. Actually, I can just go right here. I can just go here and right here. Stop the do a full. Let's do a full throwaway UV. Basically, these UVs are just throwaway, so that when they're drawn, so when we unwrap them, they don't take part of our mapping process. Right there, I wanted that. I want these UVs to be. I think this one inside is gonna be a throwaway, so we're gonna use that polygon. Kind of going in. Go away. Here we go. And this UV here is a throw UV. This we got throw away. Because all that's going to be in the texture, you know, I don't want it part of the shirt. Although I actually wanted to, I could easily just make this whole thing part of the collar if I wanted to. Actually, let's do that. Actually, I thought about that too. I could make this whole inner part of the shirt, all this right here, the collar. You know, it'll basically help us minimize seams, and then I'll break it right here in the front on the inside. So this is a nice way to eliminate seams in your models. Now the sleeves. The sleeves are going to be. I'm trying to figure out a way to do the sleeves so that I can actually get them working. So go back here real quick in my model. Reference where my seams are going to be. They are. And then we'll then go to Modo. Actually, if I do anything else, let me go ahead and add an extra edge on this. It just dawned on me that I should add an extra edge or something on this, and yeah, that just dawned on me. Right now, I just realized something that I could actually go in and add an extra edge right there. Yeah, see that seam there? I just realized that I can go ahead and just add an extra edge. So we can do that. We can actually do this by edge loop or edge loop. And, I mean, of course, it seems excessive, but you know, I'm trying to minimize as much issues as I can when I do my baking later. And then it's going with the Z project brush. Just go in and start. Just go in and drag it, and it'll attract to the mesh underneath. Because what happens too is this is actually a seam on the high poly. Actually, right here. Apparently, when I did the projection earlier in the earlier video, it didn't catch on. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this now on here. Otherwise, it'll drive me crazy if I don't fix it. Not that it matters, but I want the seam to be on there. This is where I get this is where the perfectionism kicks in. You know, I get what's a proper term for this? Anal retentive. Yeah, here we go. On things like this. I basically want to make sure my seams line up. So what's going to happen here as well is I'm going to take the seam and break it right there, so when it bakes out, it looks like it'll look like one piece, but it'll look like it's it's a shirt. It's in reality, there's a seam on a shirt, and I want a seam there, so I'm going to put it on there right where I want it. I want points in there. I'm going in and just fixing the seam, so that's on the shirt. I mean, that's gonna be exact, but for me though, it'll look better for me when I bake it later. I thought I've also done this. I've done this well with a topology brush, but right now it's gonna quickly just fix it right now. And also having ghost mode turned on helps a lot too when you're working with ZBrush. Ghost mode is your friend. Okay, now we have that done. Okay, so I got that fixed for the most part. I'm now going to go ahead and break. Now I'm going to go ahead and break this off the sleeve off here. There's only UVs. So to do that, back to the brush, start breaking edges. Start breaking stuff. And actually too, there's an edge border that I don't want on here. We can safely delete that right here. That's just adding extra polygons we don't want. So let's go ahead and delete that. You can safely delete this. It won't be seen in the game. I don't want it there. So we're gonna make sure we get rid of that extra edge on the surface. And I'll admit though, this is a very tedious process, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. What you've seen today. Even mapping is not quick, but after I've done this many times, I can show you quicker how to do UVs. I'll delete the polygon that I want. Okay, here we go. And now it goes. Now with the model selected, we can now go and start hiding these edges here. And also too with the topology, this is why I did this in the previous video. The topology this way, so that it'd be easier to work with too. Waiting. Weights. Go ahead now. First selection. This gives you an idea for another design later, another character. But for now, you might one of those signs from a shirt or something. Visible. There you go. And now, after this part, we can now go in and start unwrapping this character. And the inner sleeve, I'm not sure what color I'm not sure what color I want to be, but I'm probably gonna end up wait. Let me do this. This part here, it might be another color as well. But there's a nice little detail line that I like right there in the high res. So I want that. I'm gonna go ahead and map that as well, just for the hell of it, because it looks so cool to have it there. And also it'll also help add some sort of uniqueness to the model as well. Go ahead and just delete all that. I'm just going in and just hiding the edges that we use in the poly group for the model. So I'm going in there, hide the edges, and there you have it, pretty much. And then there's also this leaf here. Right here. Yeah. Hide it. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go do auto groups for now, so that I can actually get unique UV that I want for this particular piece. Visible. Hit it a few times until it actually some odd reason it's actually adding poly groups there. I don't want any groups there. Auto groups. Visible. There we go. That's better. That was painful. And once more on this. Oops. Once more on this part, we want to actually hide this and hit group visible. All right. So now we have the shirt. Now we have that part done. We can now go back to UVMaster and work on clone. So by working on clone, it'll make it a lot easier. And the only thing we want really is we want seams. I want a seam on this side of this side right here. I go back to my model. You know, I'm just making visual references. So right up there. 8 polygons down. I want a seam right here. I'm gonna paint a seam right here. In control painting. And I've already kind of the polygons I want. So 1, 2, 3, 8. And we'll draw a seam right here on the side, right here. Oops. Standard brush. Make sure it's selected too. So you want to hit attract, and it'll start drawing the seams down. Come back real quick to make sure I got it right. Hit 8 polygons. One seam right here. And yes, you want to make sure that you draw the hell out of that line to make sure that you show that program who's the boss. So we'll turn off the fill for a minute. See the poly frames, and I'm gonna draw a seam all the way down the arm. I want a seam all the way down, so all the way down, and basically right here as well. So we'll make sure that seam going on there. And we draw a seam all the way down, you know, all down the arm. And it might hit the inner sleeve too, but it's okay. That's what we want. All the way down. And because the poly group's turned on, we're gonna have some extra to work with. You know, using a shirt like these on a shirt model. You know, I might want to change the color of the polygon, or you know, things like that too. Also having UV shells will help us too down the line when we want to going in and adding seams. I want them. Sometimes the UVMaster program, it can be very stubborn. I'll admit that now. It can be a very stubborn program, and make sure my seams, I want them. Here we go. I'm just checking my seams to make sure they're where I want them, and then draw the seam the rest of the way. You know, sometimes poly groups don't always work, so I just draw a seam for extra insurance. Okay, and then here turn a polyprint back on. Go back on for a minute. This is the inner collar. So I'm gonna hide that for a minute. I'm gonna hide this. Hide that for a minute, and then continue drawing the seams. I want one here. Just so that I can, you know, it's hidden, you won't see it, and it's gonna be there. It's drawn. And then when we do a UV process, it should break pretty clean. That. And let's hop back to Modo for a second. Oh, actually, one more thing too. I did put a seam here as well, so I want to put a seam. I'll also have a seam over here as well. Go back to that for a minute. Yeah, so right there. All right, put a seam. We'll put a seam here. I'll hide this mesh. I'll go ahead and paint a seam right there. Leave. Your references would I would want it to be right there. I mean, sure, it's gonna look weird right now, but you'll thank me later when you do this process. It also helps too with texturing. It makes the shirt feel like it's separated. You know, like you bake, like if you ever bake those right now with this using with one piece, it'll look like the shirt is together. And I think that in texturing wise, makes the shirt feel more separated to me. So go ahead and select that. And this is done. I think we're ready to unwrap this puppy. First, let's go to Modo first. See what it did. Oh, it's done. Look at that. Boom. Clean UVs every time. I love this. I love clean UVs. It's like clean sheets. You want those clean UVs. All right. So let's go back to this. Now we're gonna go ahead now, and we're gonna go ahead and unwrap. I'll turn this off first. Control painting off. Unwrap with the polygroup symmetry and unwrap. See what happens. And now if you go ahead and hit flatten, hopefully the program put our seams we want them. There they are. Sometimes it's stubborn, and sometimes you want to force it to really go back and hit check seams. Actually, it did pretty good. Actually, it did surprisingly well. So all that's left now is to copy UVs. That's our model, and paste the UVs on there, and we'll send it to Modo. So let me go ahead and move this jacket out the way. We don't need it right this second. Now we're going in and just change the name back to remove the suffix. We'll see on that. And basically, I was very careful when I did the UVs on this. So it's important to make sure that we do UVs. When you plan carefully. Plan it carefully. You do UVs very careful, like. So, so the next one I'm going to tackle are the boots. The boots are a big one. I'm going to tackle next. Yvonne, texture. I'm going to go ahead and rename this. I basically make sure my UVs. I make sure naming conventions are very important. All right, so let's go here real quick. Look at our polygons. Yes, it's the inner collar. That looks pretty good. Looks good. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can use the rectangle tool on this. Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna use the rectangle. In the case of these UVs, I'm gonna use the rectangle feature so that when I add what is it adding texture on this, like patterns, it'll actually look proper when we add patterns on this. Doing this one, use the rectangle mapping. I don't know why this didn't same thing. But, oh, okay. So it's rotated differently. So we'll worry about that later. I mean, it's going to look stretched right now, but when I go in and add my texture detail, this is essential for making sure you have clean UVs on there. In fact, what I'll probably do in a later process, there's a feature in Substance Designer that I think it's in Substance Designer that will allow me to go in and add points on there. Actually, I'll leave it alone. I'm not gonna mess with it any further. Pretty good to me. 1, 2. This is the top of the shirt. and it didn't split like I wanted it. It didn't split like I wanted it to, so we can fix that. I can fix that later. I just want to make sure my mapping is where I want it. So I'll fix that part later. Now we have the trousers. Now we have the trousers, which I already did previously. I did them recently. So for the trousers, and rename all this. Yeah, the trousers are done last week, so I'm not worried about the trousers right now. So we'll pull them aside. Same thing here with the shirt mesh. Pull that aside. Sometimes UVMaster is it's very powerful, but sometimes it's very insistent. So you check your borders and UVs, make sure they're where you want them to be. I'm gonna go to the shirt real quick and show you where I want the UV splits to be. See, like right here, and right here, didn't split right there. So I'm gonna come back later on in the later process and split it manually. See, UVMaster did the splits. It thought about the splits and where was best, but I'm gonna come back later and fix that. You know, because of the interest of time, I want to get this finished for you guys. You know, okay. Now the boots. Now the boots are another challenge altogether by itself. And since I want unique detail on the boots for this character, I'm gonna hide one of them. And just, I'm only doing this to make sure that I get a clean. Actually, too, I can also actually I've got that here. I can go in and select hard. I can go and select all the hard edges. So I'm gonna do that, and that's pretty much part right there. So we're almost halfway there. So let me go back and hide the coat, and continue working on the boots. This is very good right here. So let's go back and items. Go ahead and select our edges. And this is where things get very interesting for me. So the next step now is I want to pick an edge. I'm gonna pick an edge somewhere on this. I think this one right here should be suitable. I'm trying to see where that edge is. It's hard to see in here too, so it's very important that I go in there and I use pants for a minute. Yeah, see right here, the edge right here. This is where the edge breaks. And originally when I did all this, I didn't think about edge placement. So with place your edges, it's very important to place your edges. So let's go into our let's go and enable topology mode for this. And I want to fix this I want to fix the boot edge location. Because originally when I did this I didn't think about topology and other stuff. This is where the boot's come into play. So I'm gonna go ahead and find our jack boot. So, yeah, so like right here, this edge right here is in a good position right there, and I want to make sure I match that. I want to make sure I can try at least match the edge. So I'm going to go one to division level. Delete it first. Delete it temporarily. And let's go Z it into Modo. Yeah, and of course too, it's important to get up and walk around while you're working on modeling. Basically, get up, walk around a little bit. Take a load off, take a break, take a load off for a moment while you're doing all this. All right, so now I'm gonna go into topology mode. And this is where it gets really interesting. So right now the boot, this is your background mesh. And actually, I'm going to put on default so you can see where it is. And I'm looking for that edge. That edge I picked earlier. And what I want to do is, so pick right there. I see it right there. Then we'll go to the polygon pen and turn the snapping off and pick the vertex that I want. Really. Let me hide the I'm going to hide most of this so I can see when working. Polygon and hide that so I can see when working. So this is a very strange area to pick your UVs and work and everything. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. I know now I'm looking for that. Hide that right there. And it'll edge again and see where it is. Alright, I see it now. So, polygon mode, and I'm going to pick the polygon pen, go back in there and fix the edge. And basically the edge is it's inconveniently. I need to do something else with this. Not only that too, I need to see the detail on the model. I'm gonna clone this for a minute, so I can see where everything is. I did a clone of it, so I can go back and check my polygons. There you go. That'll work. Basically, because what happened was I wanted to see what the model was. So if I wanted to see what my model was, there we go. And now we go to the boot, and we need to fix the edge right there so that the edge, this edge here, matches the seam. And I can easily do this, but you know, the way the boot was modeled originally. See what it is. Actually, what I'm gonna do here is actually, I think there's a way to. I'm pulling the edges away from this, so I can just. I'll just go ahead and add an edge right there. I mean, you know, it doesn't deform anyway, so I'll pull the edge away from this. I can go in there and actually model the boot seam I want. Edge slide. Oops. Snap, you know, into the snapping off so it doesn't snap. So I'll do like this. Pull the edges manually. It's a pretty using the Z spheres. We're taking too long for this. All I'm doing is just putting an edge there where the seam should be. And yeah, it'll add an extra edge on a polygon, but that's okay. I don't mind it. Like this and what it actually is. And I'll go ahead and put a, yeah, I think it's right there, it's good. Actually, put it and actually edge. Okay. Yeah, this is where it gets really weird. So basically, this is where the heel will terminate. At least in the model, the heel will terminate there. I think I'll have to split the edges. Point. Yeah, this part gets really tedious. Just the part where I come back and I'm like, okay, I didn't like this, so yeah. We can fix it now. I'm going to hide some of the polygons. I mean, I'm learning new tricks every day on how to use this topology brush. Hide that right there, and hopefully it won't break anything when I add an edge loop. It'll just add the edge loop to the polygons I pick for it. There we go. There. Not all that. Basically, this is all part of the learning experience. This is how I learn how to do my topologies and for games all that stuff. Tweak. And yes, there's an end gun there. I'm already aware of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete vertex right here. Model. Because this is right here is the boot sole, and I don't want any points on that. We'll remove vertex. I don't want to move vertex. Actually, yeah, I do. Because that's the best part about the topology brush. That I can go back. I'll fix the edge there. Because that's where the boot is going to the hard edge of the boot sole is going to be. Right here and right there. Now we have a nice topology. It looks clean. I like it and everything. It may seem very heavy-handed, but you know, this is essential to get clean UVs. Let's go to a fill mode and just we'll go ahead and fill this in. Items. Get that boot right there. Departure pen. Fill. There we go. And this is where I split. This is where I usually split my models. Right, you know, right at the bottoms everywhere. So. Okay, so that done, we can now go back now and back to our model, and I want to go ahead now and select the hard edges, and I'm probably going to split the boot, probably the boot sole. I could probably split it here, but I want a little more control. Yeah, I'll do it right here. Put it here, boot sole, back in. Oh, one other thing too I want to do as well is put the edge right here, top. So do that. Go in. Vertexes. Control L. Split it. And remember, boot itself is not going to be animated. It's going to be scene weighted, so it doesn't matter what you've seen. I kind of want to go in just right there. Get that edge there. Make sure it goes all the way up and around. That. This is where it's fun. Here, we're now going to go ahead and in UV edit mode and hit unwrap tool for this. And we're lucky, get a nice clean split there. And split it here, so I'm not worried about the splits of the boot sole. So the edges again, because I don't want them selected. And this boot sole is gonna be pretty plain, so I'm not worried about detailing. What it's gonna be, because in Painter if you use like Painter or Mari, you can easily fix this. This is easily fixed by just by painting it on it directly. No distortion. It's pretty straightforward. Right here. I mean, I could split it. I could take the sole and split it somewhere, but maybe it's me at the toe. I mean, it's very small. It's a very small piece. You're not gonna notice it much. It's very tiny. There we go. It's in the boot selected polygons. We're now going to go ahead and bring this back into the brush. And go ahead and just before I do anything, go ahead and just mirror this back. That's really, really weird. Nah. I don't know what I did there, but the overcoat's now gone. Okay, that was very, very strange. So I'm gonna boots again. Just watching. That was very, very strange. Polygons out. There. Yeah, I think I ran into something just now. I don't like what I did. Here we go. I think sure got back there. That was trippy. That was very trippy. So I'm trying to save this before I see working. Yeah, that was trippy just now. What happened? So I'm just hitting right now. So it's okay. So return to the boot polygons and do Shift V. Mirror it over. Mirror it across. And now you have a nice boot. And as a bonus, we're gonna take this boot right now, and we're taking it into UVMaster and just give it a quick smooth. Usually, my process is a lot of back and forth between Modo and ZBrush for UV mapping. Usually I use, depending on how fast I want the model done, I can do it pretty quickly in UVMaster, depending on the model. And we're almost on the home stretch here. Of course, I'm going to do a quick smooth on this because I don't want any breakage on this model. Quick dab. Kind of a pain sometimes to do this, but you want to make sure that your model is smooth as possible. At least for this instance. Let's go a little more strength on this. Oh, idiot. There we go. I'm going real quick, give it a quick smooth. And we'll also look at the high-res boot to see compare it to. So we're near the home stretch, guys. We're almost done with this mapping process. Now we have the boot on there. You have the boot sole. Don't know why, but it looks offset to me. That looks very offset. I don't know why that is, but we'll fix that now. For some weird reason, it likes to mess with the model. I don't want that happening. The last thing I want right now is the boot to be higher than the rest of the model. Actually, you know what? There was something. Also easily fixed if you just use a transpose tool. I'm gonna pull this down. Move. Pull it down. Yeah, that's better. There we go. That was weird. That's a quick fix. And so now we're going to do a quick UV map. Use different seams, symmetry turned on. I'm going to wrap on this, sure that it looks. What? I don't want to do that. This off, check seams. Hit one more time to make sure that I draw correctly. I've been using UVs. Let's say about the Modo, and we should be well on our way. You're probably noticing why it's taking so long with this process, because I want to show you the entire process of UV mapping. You know, it'll take a while. It'll take a while to show everything, but you know, I hope that by watching this video, you actually will get an idea of how I handle my mapping, my characters. I'm going in real quick and take a look at the boot. There's a little distortion here. I don't know where it's from, but let's see. Let's have a look at the model for a second and see where distortion is, and see if I can find a way to alleviate that. Little distortion there. That's not a problem for us. It's probably on the inside of the boot. I might have to break off a piece of the boot just to yeah, I'm gonna break off a piece of probably break off some of the boot. Let's see this symmetry. One, all the edges right there. I mean, this a boot. This part we're not gonna see the boot, so it's not much of an issue. So yeah, this right here, this part right here will definitely have some issues for us later. Fine. And I didn't want to break the boot. I didn't want to break the boot too much, because what happened is nothing will happen. It'll just make my job a little harder. So go in here real quick. You go ahead and select UV borders. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go in real quick and just start picking faces that I want removed from the equation. So I want this outer part. I want this, at least this right here. Here. And yeah, that part is perhaps I was afraid of. Ooh. I'm going to actually select the corresponding polygon for this. Because right now it's there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick all the polygons out here. This is where the fun. This is where it gets really interesting too, because this is where I catch a lot of issues too early. It's important in your movie mapping to catch these problems early. You catch them early. You catch some problems early. There won't be any problems. There won't be any problems at all to deal with. Catch all these problems early before they cause harm later. I'm kind of going in now, just fixing the edges and stuff, and kind of going in and just picking the polygons that I want. And I'm gonna go a little further in so that I can just have this outside part. Happened earlier too with the glove. I mean the boot earlier. I mean, although it's gonna be the same color, You know, I want to try to minimize distortion as much as possible. I'm going in now and just picking the polygons I want to really go in there and, you know, usually a lot of artists don't like UV mapping, and as much as I like automatic mapping, some cleanup is required for this. You know, sometimes depending on your needs, like if it's a hard edge model, I would usually use automatic mapping for that. If it's a model that's hard edged, a lot of corners, then automatic mapping is good for that. Like such as unwrapping a gun for a game model. That's usually pretty good. You'll want to use the automatic mapping for that. Here, edges, and I could have did this earlier too. Wasn't very sure how it would look. Try to minimize seams. And since you'll never be close to the boot anyway, you know, I usually choose UV shells. Usually choose UV shells versus the number of polygons that I want. And I'll probably go a little further. I'll probably go a little further to the boot, a little further in the boot on the other side of it. But I think for this one, I think this is appropriate for what we're going to be doing. And definitely take your time with this process. UV maps. UV mapping is probably the slowest process of my pipeline. Actually, the second slowest. Retopology is usually the first slowest for me. Actually, and then baking the texture, waiting for it, and sitting there twiddling your thumbs because it's like waiting for dinner. Finish cooking. So here we go. And then tear it off. Rip. I love that rip sound. It's kind of cool. And also too, the best part about this process too is the fact that actually, you know what? I can go a little further than this. There's a seam, right? There's a little thing in there. I didn't tear it off. Let's go further. Let's go a little further. Let's go further. I'll go further. Let's go to my selection and see how far I can go with it. I do realize that I could probably break some of these polygons off and use them later. Yeah. See if they correspond to anything. Oh yeah, there we go. Actually, yes. I can start breaking polygons. I can start breaking polygons right here. There it is. So yeah, so let's do that. I saw an idea. I saw an opportunity. Went for it. So let's do that. Let's break it right here. So this is the polygon. I'm gonna break that. Break it right. We'll break it right here. Because what's gonna happen here is we already have the seams established. So I'm gonna break it right here and try to keep the UVs free distortion. Sometimes, depending on the scenario, I like to choose more seams, more shells, versus having it in one piece. Not only that too, but when it bakes, when it bakes out, it'll look better too. Hide it for a minute. Now the other side. I forgot. The unfortunate thing about this too is when I pick UVs, I think this should be a feature in Modo 11 in an update to lock. Like if I have a symmetrical side of a UV, I will make sure that whatever I pick in the UV shell will pick on the other side. So essentially, it'll lock the shell to each other. Like let's say I pick let's say and decide, okay, I pick symmetry point on our model. Sometimes the point's not symmetrical, but you want to make sure that it is. So, all right, so that's done. Select it. I think that'll work for our needs. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's fine. I can hide that. One more. All right, there we go. Yeah, all I'm doing is hiding the polygon and check and make sure it looks good to me before I do it. And yes, looks good. Now, rip. What do you do? Rip it right there. And go to select UV border. And I'm hitting a wrap tool. Boom. That looks pretty good. And the next point we're going to run into now is we need to actually go in and relax this. So I'll save my scene now. I'm gonna pick the relax tool, relax, and go at the ZBrush. Okay. Now the boot's finished. What's next on our agenda? Oh yeah, we need the gloves to be done. Another thing that we haven't done yet. And actually, the sleeve here is already done. Did it recently, so it's no need to do it again. You check it right now and see if there's a map on there. There's no UVs on it. All right. In that case, we'll go ahead and just wrap that sleeve real quick because we can. And it's interesting. Wrap something like that. I usually make sure when I wrap something, I always make sure that I keep the I check on wrapping, make sure it's already done. On the sleeve, sleeve high res. Here we go. Yeah, and I have a sleeve mesh because when I'm working on my characters, I would usually have, in case of this character, he has a sleeve inside of his jacket, so this should be pretty easy to wrap. So I remember I put my scene. And plus, UVMaster lets us decide where the sleeves will go. All right, did I finish there? We'll go ahead and work on clone. As I said before, work on clone is very important. And what I want to do now is I want to actually go ahead and wrap and paint a scene for painting I want it to be. Back to that and check it right here. So I'm going to go in and start painting. So go attract, and in the cursor turn blue, and I want it right here. So I'm going to go ahead, full strength, start painting the scene. Oops. Yeah, so kind of think, usually of course I do this process, I think about where I want my paint to be. And I'm dead serious right now about this. It won't seem like here. It'll be there and it won't do anything special. And now I want to go ahead and protect it. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it in red. Where I want to paint the model in red to protect it. So basically, pretty much the entire model right now, aside from the left hand, the blue seam, I want to protect it. So this is where I go in and paint the whole thing in red. That blue line there is going to be our seam. So when I go ahead and wrap this, if all is well, if all goes well, it should just protect our seam, because I don't want to paint it on. Sometimes ZBrush UVMaster is very stubborn from this kind of thing. It's kind of why I haven't used it for certain projects, because of stuff like this. And I actually wanted to go online and look for some fabric textures, and I think KRGraphics has a page now where they have all these fabric, some substance. It's a substance fabric, and I might look into using surface mimic, because for this particular pattern, I kind of want a waffle weave kind of pattern. So anyway, that done, I'm gonna go ahead now and hit unwrap. Boy. And when you flatten it, it should be where I painted it originally. Here we go. And I'm gonna unflatten it. Hit shimmer, hit check seams. And see, as predicted, it decided for me where the seams are going to be. So now this is where. All right, I think I did this previously. Let me see. Let me see low and turn it back off. This is where it gets really frustrating for me using the UVMaster, because it doesn't respect my seams. Respect my seams. So I'm going to import this real quick in Modo and see what my seams are. Kind of a bothersome thing. Don't worry about that right now. Let me just put in the Modo for a second and see. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get the mapping where I want it. So while that's being done, I'm going to go ahead now and work on the glove. That's a very complex part of my character, and I want to make sure that I get that correct. And thankfully, when I model the glove, I model it in such a way. I model it in such a way that the UVs are going to be pretty. It should be a pretty straightforward wrap. The glove. It's usually just two halves, top half or bottom half. And in case of things like the thumb, I want to make sure that I try to keep it as two pieces if possible. Go here and bring it in there and check to see where my model detail is going to be. I think I turned off my so here are my poly groups for this, for the thumb and the glove. And what I'm basically going to do is wrap this hand. So, here real quick. I want to work on one glove at a time, so I'm gonna pick the hide. I'm gonna hide and delete that because I don't want to do both hands at the same time. And I'm actually waiting for Modo to finish up its processes for relaxing. Oh, already done. Look at that. Bada boom. I thought I was gonna wait forever for this to finish up. I guess not. So go ahead and delete all the stuff here. Extra folders. Actually, let's go back and fix that sleeve. Go ahead now and hide that for a minute. Hide the glove. I thought I did this already, but I guess not. So I guess now I can just work on the sleeve. Sleeve. Green go Z. Right now this video is going longer than I want, but I want to show. I actually want to do the UV mapping for the character in its entirety. You can see the entire process being done. And this is crucial, so this is why I want to make sure when I do my mapping that you see all my detail. And also in my head, I'm also deciding what materials the glove will be. Will it be? That's what happened. My model. Yeah. Let me look at it again to see. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I did this recently, and I think I lost my lost the model. So no matter. We have sleeves right. We have sleeves right here. And it's already mapped too. So I'm gonna create UV for this. Same name as the other ones. This is so that when I rename my model, it'll be in there. Symmetry, pick an edge. Be nice to me. Okay. Just want to be whatever. So pick that. Y didn't look at the side. There we go. Better. X. There we go. Now, I just want to walk into V. From here, wrap tool, and I'm done. And basically, later down the line, I'm going to relax all this too later. It's already done now, so. All right. The next sleeve, high res. And now the next part, now the fun part for this is the glove. Shirt low, adds polygons. Hope I didn't delete my polygons for the shirt. That would be disastrous. I'm glad I made copies of this. So yeah, this part's pretty frustrating sometimes. So I'm gonna go back and actually send this back into Modo. That's the downside too. You delete your model accidentally. That's a weird little. I think I've either kind of a bug or I picked something too many times and it must have deleted it or something. All right. I'm looking for this. I'm like, wait a minute, where did it go? Name it. This is how I handle my my UVs. Make sure they're all consistent. They're all consistent with the naming convention. This is next on our list. So I think it's ready. Leave. All right. So next, the glove. The glove is usually a pretty difficult part of the mapping process. And so I'll delete one hand and work on the other hand. Hide that. Leave and work on the glove. So the glove, when I did the topology for this, I set it up so that I can just pick one of the edges here and go across the entire glove very quickly. And look at that, boom. That was pretty much it for the glove. In fact, if I go my high res version of the glove, I'll go my high res for a minute. If I go on the high res, I have a seam, right? I have a seam going down the let's see, yellow first of all. There we go. That for a minute. So if you look at my glove here, I have a seam going down the side there, and I want that seam. And I also made sure that I also made very sure that when I did this, I could easily break the thumb as well. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to break the thumb. I'm going to go to the glove, and I'm going to break the thumb right here. I made total sure I was going to be able to break the thumb. And to prove this, I'm going to bring in the high res version of this so that I can actually look at the glove. Yeah. So I'll delete lower. Bring the glove right now. We're almost done, guys. I thank you very much for bearing with me as I work on the glove textures. Making glove textures takes making glove UVs. I'm kind of glad I did this ahead of time to make sure I could break the UVs very easily on the glove. So, and also too, the thumb will also be breakable too. It'll have its own UV shell, which will make distortion less of an issue for me. All right, so here we go. Have the glove. It's coming in right now. Our glove. So here's our low res glove. And basically, I made sure that I could break the edge right there, the edge of the glove. So I'm gonna come in quickly. Look at that glove mesh. 18 million right now. I don't want. Down to about 1,000 faces. There we go. About 1 million polygons right there. Okay, so I went in and I made total sure that I could break the face. I could break the faces into polygons what I want. So if I go here, see there, but edges. I'm just eyeballing everything, make sure it's there. Boom. And that edge, selected it right there. Okay. And I'm gonna go around. I want to go around the entire. I want to go around the entire hand. Go around the entire fingers with this. There you go. And it was. I made total. It was no joke when I said I was gonna make sure that I get parts that I need. There you go. And this is pretty much it for the thumb. So you go to my item mode and check it. Okay, well, thumb's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break the thumb to about. See the edges are. Bring that thumb because it's gonna drive me insane. I'll bring it in. Check it. Let's see the thumb. Let's see where it is. I made sure I do my models like gloves and pants and other objects like shirts. I usually plan my scenes very carefully when I do my mappings on the character models. You know, things like organic body parts. That usually organic body parts are usually they're usually a bit more forgiving. So, so usually like skin on characters, I usually depending on the model itself, I will have one scene on the body depending on what I want it. And because of Substance Painter, we are actually able to. And did I lost my edges? Fine. I'm gonna pick it again, and right here. I'm gonna edge there, and I'm gonna stop the edge right about here. I'm gonna stop right there because I don't want a scene on the inside for me is a little more forgiving as far as mapping is concerned. Here, well, no. I'm doing this all in one hand so that it's easy to work with. There we go. Making sure we got it all covered. And I'm picking all the edges so that I know where they are. So it's pretty much around the entire top of the fingers and everything. It's very clever way to work. When you're looking at gloves. UV mapping. Okay, so this is where the edges here. These are not pre-selected. And I usually bring my high-res model to see where the seams are. It helps me identify seams here. And some artists do it differently, but I spend a lot of time making sure the UVs are where I want them to be. I hope you guys are learning a little something from this. My workflow for doing character models. You know, this is the first series that's not time lapsed, and I think considering not doing time lapse videos for future episodes. You know, definitely let me know in the comments what you think. Should I do time lapse or continue my narration? I think I feel so much. I feel more comfortable narrating my process. You know, versus having to like record the video super long, cut it, edit it, speed it up, render it again. And here, I can do it in real time in front of you. You see all my mistakes that I'm making on my model. Right now we're nearing the 2-hour mark, but I think we're gonna keep going with this one. We're almost done mapping. Okay, and there's one more part I want to map is this part here. I'm gonna go ahead and map. I'm going to the edge in that one. I'm gonna split it. Actually, it should be okay. I don't see the issue with this edge, so I'm going to leave it alone. Wait, actually, yeah. I don't want that edge there. This is where I looked very carefully within all this. Okay, so basically, I want the edge right here to be drawn. Go ahead and just edge right there. Basically, what happened was sometimes we do topology. Sometimes you got to choose between. Sometimes you got to make a choice between edge flow and seam location, and basically, I chose seam location. That's a priority for this particular model. Still doing it too, kind of rid of that little extra edges I don't want. I'm going in there, and usually like these like gloves are a very difficult area to map, but thankfully I got smart and I did the project done in such a way that it allowed me to really go in there and just pick the part that I want and do it that way. And after I do all this, I'll go ahead and do a quick relax on all the mesh pieces in here. Okay, I think we're done. Well, for the most part. Edges. So mapping selection. Sometimes with the thing of hands, I'll usually go in and do a very manual selection of various of the edges and fix them, so that we don't get any issues with baking in the hands. I also usually take the gloves, the like ZBrush, it's a UVMaster, and basically I would smooth out the UVs part. All right, so moment of truth. We have a wrap tool. Grab it, and that hey, not too bad. Not too bad. So let's see where the other half is. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Oh, I see it right there. We got left behind, so we go back. The wrap tool. I'll go back and fix it real quick. There we go. And now we go ahead, wrap tool again. That boom. Hey, look at that. Not too shabby. Not too bad. Look at that. Isn't too bad. I mean, of course, you have some distortion here on some of the hands, but nothing that quick quick trip to UVMaster will fix. I'll go ahead and delete all that. Firstly, go back to my models and undo the subdivision levels. We'll need them later. Okay. And now we'll go back to our glove low resolution margin. Remember that I deleted half the glove so that it'll make the process a little easier for us when we do our mapping. And let's pick it. I'm going to go Z. So now I'm trying to go in and fix our UV issues. The most fun part about this too is the fact that I can work on one hand and mirror over to the other side, and that's exactly what we want to do. And we're gonna do exactly that. We want to make sure that when we do our UV textures, that all of it is smooth, all of it looks really good, that UVs look clean, and make sure that when we bake our texture maps, they all will bake in quite cleanly. So let's go in real quick and check some other stuff that needs to be fixed. Give me 1 sec here. I'm kind of stretching. We're kind of doing a little stretching a little bit in the chair, and then I've been sitting here at 2 hours now and do this UV process. So let's go ahead and check our UVs now. This glove. I don't know why I turned it on, but for some odd reason my poly frame. Oh, good. Here we are. So this is the glove right here. This is the glove here. We'll go ahead and go to poly groups. And this is a similar process to the earlier for the high-res glove. We basically took the glove, did the same thing there. It's gonna be a seam on this part, but I'm not too worried about that because it'll bake through pretty cleanly once I go in there and do my detail pass. It'll look really good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit first things first, of course. This one's mirrors across. Mirror and weld. Range. There's some polygons there. So I'll do it manually then. That's quite strange. We've got that all of their polygons there. And basically, I'm glad I'm doing this too as a real-time video because usually as an artist, I see a lot of time-lapse videos, and there's usually some editing involved in it. Hide some mistakes. For me, I want you to see my mistakes. I want you to see where I'm messing up my model. And basically with that said, I love the fact that this is a very clean process, UV mapping, that you're able to see all of it. So there we are. Now I'm going to go in here now and go to poly groups, these, and then I can see UVMaster poly groups, use existing seams. We can actually generate new polys too with this. Check seams. This is where you work in your clones important. Wrap. It should create 6 islands generated. So how do we go in there? Wait a minute. Right. Got it. Did already. Wrap. And we're gonna go check streams. There we are. Everything looks good. We'll go ahead and turn off the seams now. Name of it. and then we'll flatten. Then we're going to do a quick flatten to see how it looks. And actually, that was pretty good, believe it or not. You know, these fingers here need a little smoothing. That's not a problem. We can easily fix that right now with this. We'll go ahead and hit. I'll go ahead and flatten for a minute and see which one it is. You know, because they have the symmetry turned on, it'll make the fixes easy. So we'll go ahead and just flatten it again. And if we're in the right place, yeah, we're not in the right place right now, but it's okay. That's one of the great features of Modo too is that we can actually do. It's a feature where you can do UV smooth and this with Z add. That'll help a lot. Help immensely with Z add turned on. I'm going ahead and smooth UVs a little bit. These look good. These are not so good. So I'm going manually and just fix any kind of overlap that I find in my text in my UVs. And there's a feature in Modo called symmetrize UVs where I could pick one of the UV shells and then mirror over any changes I make to one UV. I haven't figured out a feature out yet how to use it, so I think today is a good time to learn it and demonstrate it. In these you know, workflow diaries I'm doing, it's all of this is not none of this is rehearsed. No rehearsals. You know, if I make a mistake, okay, it's a lot like drawing. Make a mistake, you know, on your canvas, draw through it. You know, basically my work, doing CG work or creating characters or creating kind of monsters, even creatures. Well, I do not believe in mistakes. Sometimes mistakes are actually mistakes are really good. Actually, mistakes can be a good thing. Mistakes help you, you know, accept loss. Accept times when a mistake can work. You know, it's good to help you. It helps you accept, you know, that not everything is perfect. You know, that's what I'm learning right now. I'm learning all about that. You know, and you know, you make a mistake. You know, it's not nothing. There's nothing in this world is perfect. If that were true, this world wouldn't be the way it is today. And I'll admit, a perfect world is quite boring. So you want to try to go in there and I kind of wish that art was a way to make the world a better place. I believe that in my heart. And I believe in important. And, you know, we all go in there and right. I did it earlier, but I'm going to do it here again. I don't know what happened. No, done. Match tool. What a move. Remember at 250 from this. Sometimes I do something more than once, and I guess I had the teeth here. I could have just did it right here. But also way down the line too. I'm going to do blend shapes with these teeth. Actually, wait. Hold on. Let's send them in now. Actually, did them earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and send it in. And it's a feature in ZBrush that I like. It's called Go Z Visible, and it will only export the visible models. I hit Go Z Visible. It's way faster. It's way faster than, you know, doing what I'm doing already. You know, and make it a lot easier for me. And right now we're going over our time here. Okay. And after this video is when I end this video, after the head wrapping, I'm going to show you the I'm going to show you the finished UVs. So right now we go to the teeth, tongue, and make sure you're going to do a mask remain. So there you go. So this is pretty much all of our parts already done already. Character. So I go pick it all right now. You'll see if I choose everything now, you'll see that everything is mapped. All the work so far has been involved in mapping our model. So I'll go to short model as well. Take that and the sleeves and everything. Everything up to this point, we've mapped the entire character to this point. Now, the pièce de résistance, the head. That's one of the most. It's probably going to be the most interesting part of this, because not only do I have this head here, I also have to take the head, bring the ZBrush, and hope that all my detail remain intact. This is why I named it. This is why I named my models the way I did, so I named my models. There's an easy path to go Z between here and Modo. So I'm going to go ahead now and just going to do a quick unwrap here for this. And yes, the head's denser than the rest of the model. That's okay, because usually for heads, for UV map, call it that. And right now, there's nothing in the scene. Right? There's no map there for the characters. So I'm going to go ahead and pick all the rest of these objects except the head and pull to the side, because I want to demonstrate, or try to demonstrate some trash UVs. Actually, that's right here. I'll put it right in. So I did an edit here on this one. Let's do a hand on. So it's a left hand. So basically, it's the left hand. So symmetry, like so. And let's do a quick test on this. I want to see if I can see the changes I do here go here. So symmetry UV, axis, reflection positive negative. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, that didn't work out as planned. So very easy fix for us. Go there, delete. Oops. We'll just hide the glove, delete it, turn it over. Then of course pick all the UV seams, UV borders, and actually I'm gonna just take. Actually, I can just take this right here, just the hand, root, out there real quick. Our mirror UVs. Mirror UV, RV. Actually, I'm gonna mirror on you because I wanna. Here we go. And I'll go ahead and bring in this little tool here. It's a very invaluable tool that I've been using for years, and it's a very powerful tool. This is how I check my UVs to ensure that they look so good and clean. Go ahead and check it. This is a UV checker that I usually use when I build my models. UV. This is where things get very interesting. I want to make sure that my models are properly mapped. So the UV is texture. Let's see what it's mapped to, because I can't see it in here. Okay, so It's not showing up on the my model. I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, go ahead and some body. Bring this texture and color. I set this to base color just to see what it looks like when I go into an advanced viewport. I think that might be it too. It might not show up immediately when I do this, but it'll look really good. Okay, so right here we go. Right here on my UVs, look in the viewport. Yeah, what happened was I didn't assign materials to my UV to my model, so it actually didn't look. It actually didn't look like it's supposed to. So better. And just set the body. And here are all the UVs so far on our character. And basically, how heavy that? It's kind of heavy, and I apologize for the viewport being so heavy. Set to my yeah. So basically, this is where everything you see here right now, it's all UVmaps and everything. I can even change the UV, so like, you know, typical checker pattern. Now I could pick this one too, the rainbow UVs, and see how it looks on the model. Default, go to advanced viewport, and we'll see everything again. And of course, I'm on a laptop, so it's not very fast, unfortunately. Bring us to body. Actually, you know, I'll do it like this. Let me see if it'll work like this. Here, so. And so, if for some weird reason it's not going to show my model. No lights in here. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of weirdness here, so let me just jump back to model viewport for a second and see there. So yeah, this is the entire character in Modo right now with the finished UVs and everything. I'm on a laptop that's a couple years old, so it's not going to be very quick. There we go. So this is where our UVs come in handy. I think they're backwards. So let me see something. I don't know why they're backwards, but that's something I could fix later. Here we go. Default and all right, cool. So that's what we're going to do right there. We're going to pick that image there, and for some reason the UVs are backwards. I don't know what's going on with that. So let's see here. Let's find this piece there, and we're going to mirror over. Mirror V. Mirror V. Mirror U. There we go. That's better. That was a very weird auditing, so I'm going to make sure that all the UVs are correct model. So looking at this, you can see that the whole thing is backwards. We'll mirror on you, and that's correct. It's a weird, I don't know why it does that, but I will make sure that my UVs are showing correctly. Otherwise, I'll get very weird issues like this. Or mirror on V in this case. And right now too, the UV is upside down, so I'm going to fix them in a little while. I'm going to fix them so they're right side up. I'm also checking my UVs, make sure that the see? And I'm doing it for all of them too, make sure that all the UVs are shown correctly. And that's one thing I don't like sometimes with UVs. They will appear backwards in the models. Right here, like in the hands. UVs with V. Now they're correct. Now they're somewhat correct now. Let me see. Mirror on U. Okay, cool. Now they're shown correctly, and this is how I determine my UV selections and how they look in UV space. Go to the top row. Here it looks like this. And I'm gonna check my UVs on this as well. And also too, the reason why I have this on there is because I'm going to be doing blend shapes later on the line. Either blend shapes or a bone based rig on this character. So I wanted to check and make sure that all my UVs are correct in this regard. So I'm just kind of you know, I'm taking this along with this. So I'm going to check something before I keep moving. All right, so that's that for now, and now onto the big one, the character's head. So this one, I have a way of unwrapping my heads, and I'll go ahead and actually hide everything else except for the head. I'll hide this portion thing here as well. All right, so I already have the head mapped already. It's pretty dense, about 30,000 triangles for this. A little more than I usually use, but for what I'm doing it for, I need all that detail. So turn on symmetry and go to the edges, and very carefully pick the edges on the character's head. And I had this planned out early. I had this planned in advance. I did all this so that so I go in the character's head. You know, if I doing that stuff, let me go here, do a quick let me do a quick symmetry fix. What happened too is we'll go into ZBrush later and fix this as well. Yeah, usually of course would go Z sometimes for some weird reason. But actually, yeah, see right there? It'll actually mess with your model too a lot. So I want to fix it up a little bit before I start working. You know, sometimes you just go Z, it'll at times mess up your model. Your model's topology. So like right here in the middle. This is supposed to be in the middle of the head. Because I want the middle, right? And I hope you guys are cool right now, okay with this process, because this usually the head is probably the most complicated part of the character to think of, and I want to make sure that the head is symmetrical into this process. Right now, let's go in real quick and just do a quick check. All right, we're all good. Okay, so now the UV editor, we're now going to go in now and pick the edges we want. So, edge, make sure it's symmetrical. Good. Go in, start picking edges. And I plan this in advance so that when I do my edge selection, it'll actually look really good. I'm probably not gonna edit this video because you know, I want you all to see everything I'm doing. No shortcuts here. We do UVs, so no shortcuts. No shortcuts whatsoever. And now, depending on my UVs, I usually like to cut it a certain way. Okay, so with this here, And usually, of course, I usually cut the mouth bag out, but I'm gonna try a new approach for UVs. Okay. And I want to minimize seams. So what I'm gonna do, we'll cut right here. We'll cut there. So this is the side of the head, so that when I bake it down, there's some padding on this when I bake the head down. Okay. Go here. Yeah, right, it looks good. You probably know, and usually, of course, my characters usually, I always cut the mouth bag out separately. But I want to try something new with this. I want to see if I can knock out the mouth bag and do it this way. Here's the back of the head. We seam that way. You know you're picking the wrong edge if you veer off. This is a really good way to get your edges going. I'm going in, clicking on the edges I want, and this is usually the amount of time I take to do my UV mapping my characters. About 2.5 hours to do my UVs. So basically, in the ears, they're going to be I'm using painter, so any ear seams, I'm not worried about them. I'm going to wrap tool and wrap it. And it should show right up on the UV map here. And also it's slowing down too, because I'm also recording this at the same time. And I haven't tried the UV sculpting tool here, UV sculpt. There we go. This is pretty much how the head looks right here. Looks weird right now. You know, I'll admit it. Looks pretty weird. Now I'll take this into ZBrush and generate a better mapping of this character's head. So I'm probably gonna go in and test out, try to get a good feel of it. If it's too squished, I'm probably gonna break the UVs a little more. I try to keep my UVs as one piece. That's important. That's important to me. Make sure I keep everything in one piece. And let me just check my details here. Make sure it's still there. Okay, good. Everything's still there, intact. And also, I'm also mapping now too, so that I can actually make sure. Let me polygroups. Let me hit check seams. So I'm gonna go real quick and just hit unwrap, and it should create 3 islands on the head for me. And when I'm done with it, it should look pretty good. Yeah, so this is what UVMaster created for me. And I'm gonna get out of that. I'm gonna flatten. I'm gonna flatten it out. Oh, and this is where work on clone becomes very important. So I'm gonna hit work on clone. This would be the clone version of the mesh, and and there's no television levels whatsoever on this. So we can go ahead and flatten. And this is where, and you'll see there, our guy looks pretty scared right now. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but whenever I see this mapping like this, I get pretty I find it pretty hilarious when I see this mapping on this character, mapping like this. And right now, this is pretty much the super flat version of the UVs, my character. Right now, there's a little bit of issue with the mouth in there. You know, some issue in the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, while I'm here in my UV window, I'm going to use a smooth tool. And I'm going to go in and start smoothing out pieces of this. This is where symmetry comes in handy. So right here, if I zoom in close, you can try zoom in close. The floor off. I don't have the floor on. Here we go. So if I go here, you'll see that so you see that the points are snapping. This UV is perfectly symmetrical. So now I'm gonna go in real quick. I'm gonna go in real quick and just smooth out some parts of the model that might be an issue later. As I mentioned, we're using painters, so it's not much of an issue if you have any distortion or not in our UVs. But I like having no distortion in UVs, so it's important to have it there. RGB add, and I'm gonna do a quick zoom. And this is where it gets weird. So I'm gonna go in here and go and delete all these layers. I forgot about this. This is something I hope is fixed in future versions of ZBrush. Yeah, let me hit bake all. This, no. And just the fact, the one thing kind of weird to me too is ZBrush, when you do your layering, if you have layers on, it'll actually warn you that you're recording something. I'm going in real quick and just smoothing out. Give it a little once over, smoothing. So kind of going in and smooth out parts of the model that are that deem are hazardous. And this is basically like cutting my skin, back of my head, and unfolding me. Pretty gross stuff. Pretty gross to think about it, but that's an analogy I want to use for this. Going real quick and just so. I'm just smoothing out the UVs a little bit so that when I bake them, so bake the UVs. This is why I don't want to break the mouth part, so that I can have one unified piece in all of this. Go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead right now and use my topology brush. This is where it gets interesting, and usually this is where, I guess for my heads, this is where I will accept distortion, at least in the mouth, at least in here, in this region. Again, I'm just going to go in and bake. I'm just baking textures for this one, so I don't want to go in and just make it look weak. I could add more cuts to this, but I feel that is highly unnecessary to add more cuts to this. So this is one way of doing my UVs, or I can go back. I can go back right now and change the UVs to something else entirely. Like maybe I want the seamless side of the head. Maybe I want it in the middle somewhere. So to do that, I'm gonna rename this again. Okay. And in here in Modo, I can just go back here and go to select UV border, and then just going in and just unselect all these edges here on the side of the head. Usually, like UVMaster, I like having like one seam going out the back of the head, and to a certain point in the model. So just go in and just change it. This is one thing I love about doing my modeling work. It's okay to change your mind. This is your design. You decide what's best. And sometimes when I work on my models, I tend to jump around a lot working. Once UVs are done, I'll then go in, start packing UVs and making optimizations. Since the texture of this character is going to have a 4K texture. It seems excessive, but for what I'm working on, a 4K texture is acceptable for this design. And right about here should be fine. Since this area will be covered by hair, it'll look okay. Yeah, right about there looks good. Because the rest of this is going to be covered with hair. And I was going to go over a hair processing technique for creating hair on the faces. That'll be in a later video when I start the baking process. So I'm gonna go ahead with my wrap tool, just real quick, do a home run wrap on the head and see where it takes me. I don't know why, but the head reminds me of a flying squirrel. So let's give it a second to do its thing. because what happened, because mainly, of course, it's going to, there we go. And basically now we have a new head now, and that looks a little better to me. Looks like something I can use a little easily. And of course, some people like to have, extra cuts in the head and all that stuff, and basically, I don't want too many cuts in the head. That's something that's it's usually very cumbersome and also quite heavy. Sometimes it's actually let's do the actually let's do the head, cut in the head. Actually, too, I realized because I have to remember that this whole area, this whole part, we covered hair, so I'm not really worried about that right now. We just do it here. But what happens though is when we cut it, it's gonna give more space to the head, to the head space there. So it's gonna cut very nicely. And since that part's covered with hair, I'm not worried about the seam back of the head. I try to keep seams away from areas that would be seen at all times. And when I paint the mouth texture on the character, I usually have a bake stance, usually I have a bake morph map on my model, and that baking morph map will actually allow me to export a version of my mesh with the mouth slightly open and the eyes half closed. This is so that when I do my wrinkles in the eyes, it will not bake down to that. And after the bake, I will then bring in the correct version of the head into Substance Painter and work it that way. So like right here, if I were to bake this inside of Painter right now, you'll see this will bake to the texture, and I don't want that there. That's one thing I don't want in the texture. So I'm gonna do a quick check of the UV map, morph UVs. Looks weird, it looks kind of weird. It's okay. I'm not worried about that. We're gonna go in and check our UVs. See what this is. I'm gonna go ahead and close all these. I think I did it earlier. Worried about that. That's a weird little bug. And I thank you for, if you made it this far in this video, I thank you for your patience. This is a lot of work and making sure it looks good to me when I pack the UVs. So after do the head, I'm gonna do a quick pack UV, show how it will look in the final texture. Here we go. And I'm just checking to make sure that the heads are wrapped properly. There we go. And usually I'm gonna go in and work on clone. I'm gonna clone, and I'm gonna bake down all those layers. I forgot they're in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit wrap again. And basically it'll unwrap using my existing UVs. I'm gonna flatten. And this is the funny part. This is where I told you this is where it says we're pretty funny right here. And we're gonna smooth out this mouth here as well, and part of the eyes. So let's do that right now. Kind of going in a little bit. Smooth brush, smoothing out my UVs a little. Right, but you hear the mouth area too. We want to get smooth right there. Yeah, let me see. Kind of go in here and smooth out the this part. And you don't go too aggressive with the smooth brush here. You want just enough so that it'll actually kind of moving up edge a little bit. And again, I'm not worried about the mapping looking wrong or anything like that. The fact of the matter is that in Painter, we can easily clean this up very easily. Clean the UVs. And let me unflatten, so that I can go ahead and select the side I want to preserve. I think I preserved. Yep, I think I preserved this part here. Goodness, I just hide half of the head there, so I can adjust there. I kind of wish it's a feature in ZBrush for mask by symmetry. I think that'd be a cool feature to have. Hopefully the gods of Pixelogic will hear me. The ZBrush gods will hear me and get my wish. Feature set. And I'm going to flatten real quick and let's see where I flattened it. Actually, okay. I think I broke my model here. Okay, here we go. I'm like, that was a doozy. We'll go ahead and do a pod, create a pod loop for this, so I can see a little easier. Quick flatten. Basically, I want to preserve this side here. I do work on this side. I want to do the same on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna hide this side. Yes, sometimes it's very unwieldy. This is why I don't use this feature too often. There we go. This is the hat map you want to keep. Go ahead now and go to the Former tab, hit Smart Resim, and if all goes well, it should correctly, and it didn't do it. All right, so I guess we're just going to sculpt on this until it looks good to me. I'm going in and just quickly going in and smoothing out parts I fix. I can also unwrap it again too, just to get back to what it was. Flatten. Yeah, because usually for me, this part should be very complicated too, because sometimes the wrapping tool won't do it symmetrically like it should. Right now, like right here, the rest of it's symmetrical. The rest of it's perfect except for it's crashed. No. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. I didn't do too much on this, so that's embarrassing. It's crashed on me. So let's get back in there. Keep working. And we're near the 3-hour mark, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up as soon as possible. Yeah, so I think what I will probably end up doing is it did it well in Modo, but you know, I seem to get a little faster on wrap instead of ZBrush. So let's give it a second here till I come back. Yeah, so while we're waiting for this, I want to ask you guys a question. What tools do you guys use for your texturing, UV mapping, and things of that nature? I usually use Substance Painter a lot in my work. and I use something designer, use Nalt or baking at times. I think that Modo Toolbag 3 is another awesome tool to use. And here we go. Look at the ZBrush coming back up. Yeah, if that has crashed out, so there we go. Let's give it a second to come back. Sec here. Kind of okay, there we go. Keep this phone. Alright, so now we're back where we were. And we're now back to where we were, and hopefully my work's saved. Okay, good. Didn't lose anything, so it's kind of a good thing we have that autosave in ZBrush. Otherwise, we would have been a real world of hurt if we lost all this stuff. So once again, I'm gonna go back and check my UVs and see. Okay, that's Modo UVs, and then now I'm gonna go here and UVMaster seems work on clone. This is how I well, I'm just gonna go in and just do a quick unwrap and call it done. For now, I'm ready to finish this process. And it's actually easier than I thought it would be for you guys. I thought it was gonna be crazy hard, but nah, it's doing this is very easy. Right now the UV system, right now the model is symmetrical right now. It's great. We want some sort of symmetry in our models. We'll go in real quick and just smooth out. Flatten layers. Flatten that. These layers off because they keep on. Kind of wish that work on clone would disable at least delete the layers. But I'll bake them down from now and use that to work with. Alright, so right now I'm gonna go in real quick and just fix his mouth area. It looks really weird, it looks funky, and I don't want to work with it like that. You know, and also too, if you guys work with Mari, that's another great tool, right? Another great texturing tool for if I land a job in the industry for in the game, either game or film, I would love to use Mari. You know, I think Mari is a very strong program. I've seen it in action. I think I used it before. I was working on a previous project. Unfortunately, it didn't. Unfortunately, Mari's a hardware hog, which I found out the hard way. Yeah, Mari's a system hog, which I think kind of sucks. You work on this, but for what it does though, it's very powerful. What it does, and I'm gonna go real quick and just move out this here just a little bit, not too much, because I do want to test out the that symmetry function in Modo. See if it truly works. Go ahead and flatten. Good. Copy UVs. Go back to my other model here, and basically just make sure you paste your UVs and you rename your mesh. That's all. Make sure that you keep your you working characters and multiple objects. Name them properly. Make sure you give them a name of their object. Give it a suffix so that you know what it's for. This is head low, but when I go back into the Modo or later on today, this will be named head high. This is so that when I go to nulled, I can bake my textures clean, and at some point I will probably explode my meshes in here so that I can get one bake at a time. So that said, let's go ahead and turn this back to Modo, because I want to test the feature. I recently got Modo 10, and I want to test out a feature for symmetrizing UVs. I heard it's a good feature. I want to try it out and see if it works. It's there. Of course, rename your texture. That was weird. Well, I don't know why I did that. Oh, idiot. UVs. Yeah, copy the UVs and pasted them. I forgot to copy. Paste the UVs and forgot to copy them over. Yeah, so it happens when you work all day long on your modeling and you forget to do stuff. Very important to make sure you get all your work done. You know, that looks really good. All right, so now it's in there. Let's pick the texture. It looks like, bam! Look at that. Look at that. That's a beauty right. That's a beauty right there. All right. So now I want to test something in Modo. I haven't tried yet. You notice how the UVs, these are not bad UVs. Actually, it did really good in ZBrush. And so, what I want to try now, this in here in Modo, is I want to try the UV sculpt tools. I've never used them before, so I'm gonna use them now and see how it works. Should be a brush tool there. So go in with intensity. Hopefully this is fast. The one thing I hated about using it in the past, it wasn't very quick for me. So I'm gonna go in. Kind of go in and hit control and just I think I'm gonna do that. So it's kind of a it wasn't that bad actually. I'm gonna go in, look smooth and see what it looks like. I'm kind of going in real quick and just do a quick smooth over. So what's happening here is the UVs are being smoothed. And again, I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about anywhere else right now. But yeah, see it there was and it's moving there. It actually broke apart the UVs a little bit. And it was smooth in areas, and there's some areas that are distorted. It's okay. We don't want to worry about that too much. And now I want to go here and do a UV symmetry on this and see what happens. So I'm gonna go to my front view. Let's up the sculpt tools. Don't need them anymore. I'm gonna go to my wireframe and I want to pick vertices on the side of the head. I think it's backwards again. Not sure what happened here. So let me see. ZBrush is notorious for doing this. Here. So when we fix this now, you UV mirror on this. Here we go. Yeah, ZBrush is notorious for flipping UVs, and I don't want that happening. So I'm gonna. All right. So now I'm gonna go in here and just start doing the vertexes. Look at that, boom. I want to go in now and start just picking my UVs. Picking the lasso tool and just get all the edges in the middle of the head. You'll get something here too on the side. That's okay, because what's happening here is there's actually that's a scene. See this one here. And we're almost 3 hours in, and I thank you all for taking time to watch this. I really appreciate it. Vertices. Actually, let me just move this out of the way. I'm gonna move this. Okay, yeah, the picture is correct. Correct side of the head. Yep, there it is. And I'm gonna pick all the UVs on this side. Oops. Real quick, I'm gonna go in there and just pick all the UVs on this side here. And I'll admit though, UV mapping is probably very boring and not very exciting, to be honest with you. Make sure the edges on this side are not selected. I'm just picking them at the points in here, in the middle. I get to the point right there, and boom. Let's keep going. A lot of polygons here, so I want to make sure I get all the ones I want. Do is UV symmetry. You know, if usually like a film or like a movie, something like that, this is the process that I take all the time for mapping my characters, and there's no shortcuts for UV mapping. And no, automatic mapping will not save you. Believe me when I tell you this right now. All right, so all the edges selected. And now I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to do this symmetry. So I want to go ahead and do the Y from axis is V, I think. No, this is U. And line the symmetry axis right now and see what happens. Please work, please work, please work. And no, it didn't work. Try this. Yeah, this is the first time. This is the first time I'm using this tool, so kind of like, you know, a little skittish about it. Yeah, it's kind of weird though sometimes using this tool. I don't get it, how it works, but you know, at some point later on, I'll probably go back and fix this later on and try to understand how it works. Yeah, it didn't do the UVs. Supposed to. Yes. I'll do one more time, and then I'm gonna stop the video because I don't think, you know, I'm not spending too much time messing with this. All right, so I'll probably figure out later on how this works, but I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video tutorial. I know it was long and painful to watch because there's so much work involved in this, but you know, I hope you learned a lot about my process and UV mapping characters and preparing them for baking in game. So, with that being said, I'm Chris from KRGraphics, and I want to wish you guys a very wonderful day today. If you're in the Boston area, it is very nice out. Get out there, enjoy it. No rain in the forecast. And also, too, you know, leave a like, subscribe, of course, and leave a comment. Any questions you may have, or say hey. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Have a joyous day.